In this video, you'll learn how to build a virtual course and an online course. Okay, so let's talk about the difference between those two things. At Lawson State, we have two types of online courses. One is called a straight online course, and we call it just that, online. Another course is called virtual. Virtual courses, they are online courses, but the difference is that they actually have meeting dates and times, meaning that students are still at home. They can take the class at home, but they have to still be online at a specific date and a specific time. So when we build these kinds of courses, we actually, for virtual, we actually put in days and the times that the class meets. And we code it differently. So the first thing you want to do is go to SSA, SEC, so it's like section, right? I guess, I don't know why it doesn't say schedule. It drives me crazy, but it's just section. So we'll go ahead and go into that page for us. And you're already familiar, of course, with how to build a course. So we're just going to talk about the specifics here. So we go ahead and put your term in and create CRN, of course. And again, you shouldn't watch this video unless you've watched all of the other videos building to this point, right? So especially 1 through 4. Make sure you watch those smaller videos before you even look at these, because I don't go over the specifics again like I did in the earlier videos. So let's say that I'm building a, a history course. Let's say history, and I'm tabbing, of course, a history course. It didn't like what I did. So let's say I'm building a, let me get out of that, History 101. See if it'll take it now. I like when these kind of errors happen so that you can see how I'm working myself through them. All I did was I just typed, even though it's red in there, I just typed in the 101 to get it back on track. And again, I'm tabbing. You already learned all this. I'm going to say Birmingham West. My status is active. Now, for schedule type, it's going to be online for both, okay? Whether it's virtual or whether it's online, it's going to be ONL. Instructional method, for online courses, it will be online. Okay. I don't believe they've made any other changes. Right. It's just everything is online. So for both, it's ONL for both environments. Session number, session, here's where we hit our first change. Now, if it's a straight online course, it's online. If it's a virtual course, remember I said they meet, so it's going to be day, evening, and weekend. So this is one of the big differences. So again, if I select online here in the session, that means we're talking about a straight online course, right? However, if it's virtual, they actually meet, then I'm going to select day. So I'm going to build actually a virtual course. So that's a distinction, correct? Again, schedule type and instructional method, yes, that's the same, right? Because that's how it's on the schedule and the way it's being taught. But this is dealing with timing of the course, right? That's different. It's a different question altogether. So it varies. Again, you select the day if it's virtual. You select online if it's a straight online course. This doesn't change. The traditional class does not change. Go ahead and select either one, M1 or M2. And so I'm just going to get us out of this habit of, I like us just to type it in there, get used to it, and move us forward. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. Remember, you can save by saving or just hitting F10. And it looks like we're okay in terms of all of our markers there. Now I'm going to go to section enrollment, information. Online courses, 25, that's still a lot of students, but no more than 25. Let's go ahead and save. And I'm going to then move to meeting instructor times. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and tab and get to my next change. So now I'm on meeting type, and this is online. Yeah, I'm still online. Okay, so OL is the meeting time, and remember, this is virtual. So here is the biggest difference. If it's online, guess what? I'm finished. I just select meeting type. I do not select my days, right, or my start times, because an online class does not have dates or start times. The only time I'm going to actually select dates and times, like Monday and Wednesday, is if I'm building a virtual class. So everybody needs to slow down and recognize that difference. Again, both virtual and online, we select online for our meeting type, as you can see. But the difference is the course selection. Virtual classes, we select dates and times. Online classes, we do not. So this is the virtual one. I'm going to go ahead and select the date and time, and I'm going to give it a start time. Military time, as you know. Okay. And let's just say it's just one class. I don't have a second section. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and save by hitting F10. And it's saved. Okay. Now, let me see if I can get it to move down. I want to see if it'll let me do my, hold on, let me get it to move down in session. Okay, it's asked me for my instructor information. Go back to ID. You can search out your instructor. Don't forget to capitalize. That's important. It won't work, or it didn't work for us earlier when we didn't capitalize. Matthew West, and we'll go ahead and select him. And we get our instructor in. Now, let me go to meeting location and credits. See if it's gonna. Okay, this is what I was looking for. It didn't take us automatically to building like it normally does, so that's what I was a little bit confused about. So I just went ahead and found it myself. Be careful of that. Sometimes it might be thinking that you don't need a building because it's online. You just don't know. We're so new at this. So make sure you're aware that it was virtual. So I knew in my brain that I needed to search for that location for building, right? Even though it just didn't default naturally to that page for me. Select the building. And really, so the building for virtual is really still online, but it's called virtual, if that makes sense. So there's no building locations and room numbers, but it's virtual. So what you want to do is go to this area, and like I said, in location, and that building will be virtual. So I'm going to go in here, and I believe the sign is VRL. So I'm going to go to here, and we still have Web Campus. The campus is web, and I just want to make sure that, yep, the campus is web. Okay, and so you still need to do this piece for online. It is a web campus. But the building is what should change. And let's see if I can find it here, because this is the new piece that we just added recently. So let's see if I can find virtual. There it is, virtual learning. Okay, now let me go back and just check on one more thing. Okay, so for web classes, it's online learning. So here's the thing, you complete this step, the building query step, for both online and virtual. Okay, So what you do, the campus is WB for both. The difference is the building code. So for virtual classes, the building code is VIR. For online classes, it's ONL. Okay, so that's the significant difference. Again, we're under building query. Web campus, building is online for online classes, and it's VIR for the virtual classes. So that's really a clear distinction between how you build an online course and how you build a virtual course. So I'm going to hit go. And then don't forget to always, one of the biggest mistakes people make, they forget to hit the go and they just hit select. It won't populate. You have to hit the go because you're telling the system to go grab it, and then you select it. Because before you were just in query mode, okay? There is no room number for sure. I'm pretty sure about that, right? So you just have to make sure that this is the world that we live in now, right? So virtual was the building, online, and excuse me, and we're done. So you've selected and you've changed everything. You select the web campus, your building, and your schedule type. Okay. You can always, for good measure, just check your credit hours to make sure they balance out, and your week. It's always good to just double check those kinds of things. So believe it or not, that's how you build an online course. And just as a review, the major differences that we found within building these two worlds, let's see if they'll let us go out of here, was the session was different for virtual. Remember we talked about that? Day versus day, evening, and weekend versus online. You select online over here if it's online, but you select the days and times. And then everything else was the same, like this was online and this was online. And the only other place where we found that there was a huge difference in setting up had to do with what we just reviewed. The building, the web campus, the campus is the same, web, but the building was different. One was virtual, VIR, and one was ONL for online. So that's the major differences between setting up an online course versus setting up a virtual course. Hope this has been helpful.